How's it going, guys? Got the go-kart out to be worked on, and it's been eating at us to try to get this thing up and running because it's just a cool looking machine. But we've been having trouble with the mini bike, and we kind of wanted to, ever since we got this thing, this motor right here would be a lot better. It you know, electric start. We took the engine off of the mini bike for here. He's kind of already figuring we'll take the engine off of this, put on the mini bike, and put this engine on here because it has the electric start. It's like you're sitting there with the mini bike, you can just pull, you know, off the side and get it started. With having an electric start on the go-kart would be a lot better. But one of the things that really led us up to doing something with this is that the bolt pattern on this is not correct, as far as it's not center. In the last video of this thing, you can see that he's traveling around on flat ground. I'm trying to chase after him while he's doing it, but this tensioner is going like this. Alright, so, which is, you know, all fine and dandy. That's kind of one of the things that it would do, is take out slack in a worn out chain, or, you know, something like that, which this should be correct anyhow. But one of the biggest things about it is that the chain, in order to get enough slack in it whenever it's in the tightest position, the tension is running up, you know, far enough that the chain is actually running across the frame. So there, you know, there's nothing we could do with it. This sprocket needs re-drilled or replaced. So we just said to heck with it and moved along with the go-kart. Another thing, the other engine, the Subaru engine, it you see we got a rusted up bowl, so it needs a carburetor. So in order to have something that runs, you know, we can't ride that mini bike. Every time we get it out, it's just like a constant battle with the chain. And it's either that or saw the chain in half with the chain, keeping it loose, or you're yanking back on that motor and essentially going to break the motor mounts off. So, well, anyways, we had this started up and running last night and made a lap around the house. Using, for throttle, using just holding on to this and working it. And then this thing's really hard to steer with one hand. It's like you can't do it. It's just you know, your typical go-kart type of steering. So, you know, it's, I don't know what you call it, one-to-one. You know, so it's kind of hard to steer with one hand. So, you know, you don't want to drive like that anyway. You know, you want to hook up to the pedal. So that's one of the things we need to do today. Another thing is this right here is bent. This is bent and it's running into the side of the tire. So we need to cut this and re-weld it. Cut it, bend it, and re-weld it. But other than that, you know, just working out something with the throttle and fixing that. I mean, it's rideable. The tires, this tire did go flat overnight. He's out here at like midnight messing around with this thing. The neighbors probably isn't too thrilled with this. That tire's a little soft. I mean, they stay up long enough you can ride it around. I meant to fill it up a couple times a day. It's definitely something we gotta look into, is some tires. But yeah, we'll get these this cable thing figured out on that, and we'll have a ride in this video. This video is going to end with a ride. Alright, for a quick fix of getting these cables going, here is the original cable for the unit, and here's the cable for the ATV type carburetor. Now you have to maintain the end that goes in here, you know, because it goes down inside that slide. So what we're kind of looking at is, I'm thinking about using these. Just what I have on hand. I don't have a whole lot of materials here at the house. But the other end of that cable go? There it is. Anyway, slide this up on here. See if I can one-hand this. Yeah, slide this up on here like that. and then we'll weld the fitting to the frame, and then we'll get another one of these and put on that cable, weld it to the frame, and then we'll tie the cables together, but we got to leave a distance between them with, like, drill a hole in a bolt, put both cables through it, tighten down the nut, and then the nut will just travel back and forth whenever you push the gas. But I think that'd just be the quickest, easiest thing to do. And then if you need to replace either cable, this right here I think is just like, you know, your standard bicycle cable. This right here is one of those 90cc ATV cables. So, you know, once you do this, it's going to be easy to replace. So I got to standing back and thinking about some of the things I need to talk about, what's going on with the rest of it. This is the gas tank that we had on the mini bike. It is from one of them four-wheelers, you know, like little four-wheelers, like 90cc things. We just separated the frame right here, stuck it in here, sandwiched it. Kind of has a perfect situation running along here. Figured that we'll cut some angle iron or whatever and run it across here, from there to here, and maybe even go from there to here. And I'm thinking maybe, and then after that we could use what's squared off right here and maybe put a battery box later on. That'll probably be in another video, but yeah, it was amazing how quickly this went together last night. Within an hour we had the engine off of here and then this one on. Also, this is a nifty little setup right here. It's a flat metal plate with a bearing on it assembly for this Comet clutch, but it's set up and welded together, you know, in a, it's the standard belt, you know, it's perfect distance apart how they have it set up. It uses the same belt and everything as one of them kits that's complete with the metal or the aluminum back. So that worked out really well. I mean, this thing just bolted together, it's ready to go. Alright, to get this to where we could use it, we don't have any slack right here. This little end is just right there on the end. So we need to get it to where we have some usable length here. And at the same time, I think we're going to need this metal end on here because I think the cable would just slide through there otherwise. So looking at cutting the end off the cable, and then we'll be able to pull the cable up and trim back some of this insulation. Pull this metal end off and put it back on the cable. Even at that, I think this metal end is going to have some trimming, grinding down a little bit to fit inside of here or here, but still not slide all the way through. You see down inside there. Alright, here's what we came up with for the cable setup. And you just on each side of a bolt, go ahead and push it once. So I think it'll work. It bottoms out up front almost at exactly the same time the carburetor is maxed out, so that works out pretty well. It's kind of hobble cobble, but you can replace the cable and do whatever you need right here. Up front, see, I took my grinder and ground like 3/4 of the way through that, and then we bent it, and then we're just going to weld it up. Alright, got that welded back up. It's pretty much looks about the same as the other side. Maybe a little bit more space over here, I guess. But it doesn't hit the tire anymore. It was rubbing the side of the tire. Turning radius on this thing is not very good. Like, I went down through there with it. I went down through there and I couldn't turn around. I ran into the trees. It's a good sized area down there. We have some wiring stuff to do yet. Get that switch so that it's up on the push that switch so it's up by the, the steering wheel. Other than that, about ready to go. I had a thought maybe the axle would be bent, but I don't think it is. So we decided to take it out on the pavement here at least once. This is definitely something that you get yelled at in this part for riding it around in here, but the only way to really tell if that axle's bent is take it out on something smooth like this. I think it looks pretty good. Something happened to the original wiring right here. It was, no matter what you did, it was grounded out. Just all of a sudden it decided to go on this fit that every time you tried to run it, it was just grounded out already. We ended up disconnecting just one by one each wire until it would go. So I think this has, I don't know if I bypassed a low level sensor in this for the oil or not. I think I did, but either way, something's going on that's grounding it out. So right now we are turning it off by pulling the spark plug off with this little deal here. So far we're not getting shocked. That's hot. But yeah, that's about all we got left is relocating the wiring and then putting a battery in it. So then we'll get another video. Need to do some brackets and stuff for that gas tank. But until next time, I'll catch you guys later.